What a Daytona 500, guys. That was insane. That was honestly a crazy race. And I believe it was one of the best Daytona 500s of all time. It was fantastic in every way. So let's just get right into it. Let's talk about it. All right, so I'm going to break this review up basically into stages, just like the race. Let's start off with stage one. This one was the most interesting stage of the race. I'm not going to really count the last, the 80 lap run of the finish is not really a stage, it's like a normal end. So stage 1 and 2, which one was more interesting? Stage 1 was definitely more interesting, had a lot more action because we didn't know how the teams were going to go about strategy. You had 60 laps. The fuel window was around 45 to 48 laps, and you had a abundance of strategy. So you had all the Joe Gibbs cars and the Toyotas. They went down pit road, I think around lap 12 or 11, somewhere around there. Joey Logano had a flat tire. He had a pit unexpectedly, and that was the second time that happened. I think it happened either the Clash or the dual races. So he had a pit, almost went a lap. Well, he did go a lap down, got the free pass, came back on the lead lap. And I'll talk about Logano later because he showed up at the end of the race. The Gibbs cars worked out their strategy, and it was, to me, it was not a good strategy. I think it was risky. It was very risky because you're pitting with 50 laps to go in the segment. If you pit and the pack comes around and gets you, because when you pit and you got 4 cars out by yourself or something, or 5 cars, whatever it is, the pack can still catch you. And what they did was, if you had a pit road mistake, like, Truex or Eric Jones or Kenseth, you can go down multiple laps. And that's what happened to Eric Jones. That's what happened to Kenseth. And it happened to Truex as well. So not really the best deal in my opinion. Gibbs cars came down lap 18, not 11-12, lap 18. Daniel Suarez was one of the guys I was talking about. If you make a mistake, he missed his pit basically, so I had to go around again. He went down 2 laps pretty much. So that's what I'm talking about. If you want to pull off that strategy, you gotta be flawless. You cannot make a mistake because you don't have a huge pack to fall into. You have 4 cars, and you have to be with those 4 cars, or else the strategy doesn't work. Now the strategy did work in stage 1 because Corey LaJoie, I think it was, wrecked. A caution came out. It benefited the Stewart-Haas cars, who pitted halfway through the segment. They pitted around lap 30. And the Gibbs cars before that, when they pitted around lap 18, it benefited them too. So this is going to be something to watch throughout the entire season. When do cars pit? How do they divide up segments? How do they work strategy? This is going to be something that everyone really has to learn. And it's going to be a very important part of these races because these championship points and these normal points the championship points and the 1 bonus point you get for the playoffs if you do win the stage, those are incredibly important. I don't think people realize that yet. Those points are super important if you don't win races, or if you even have to if you have to make your way on in points in the top 16. You gotta get those stage points. And the playoff points, if you win a stage, you gotta be fighting to win the stage because each playoff point carries over all the way until Homestead, which is a huge deal. So I think teams will really start to understand that during the stages later on in the season. They'll pull out all strategy stops, 2 tires, 4 tires, no tires, just try to get to the end of the stage in the least amount of time possible, see what they can do. If they don't have the fastest car, this is going to be something where it's going to be an incredible end to these stages. And I'm very excited for it. In the end of stage 1, Kyle Busch won it. I want to give a shout out to Ryan Blaney. I'm going to give a lot of shout outs to the young guys. But Ryan Blaney in stage 1 was very aggressive. He looks pretty good. But Kyle Busch won stage 1. That means, if you guys don't understand it yet, Kyle Busch gets 1 playoff point for the playoffs. That 1 point will carry over through each round of the playoffs until Homestead. That's what will happen. And then positions 1 through 10, including Kyle Busch, Kyle Busch gets 10 championship points. 2nd through 9, they get 9 points, 8 points, 10 points, all the way to 10. Stage 2 was a little bit less eventful. They were running the train a little bit for a little while, and the train is actually what got the Gibbs cars in trouble. So with a little bit into stage 2, we're nearing the end. I think I had about 15 laps left in stage 2. Kyle Busch and the Gibbs cars, I think Earnhardt Jr. was behind him, and there was a couple cars behind him. Most of the Gibbs cars, they were just in a line, being patient because they were not first in the order, but because their strategy, they did the same strategy where they pit really early. They were in front of the lead pack, staying in the tail end of the lead lap. They had to go around some slow cars, go around cars that were the same deal. They were at the end of they were at the tail end of the lead lap. This is really hard to explain. At the end of the tail end of the lead lap, and they had to snake their way through these cars. And initially, that's what I thought made Kyle Busch get loose. When he had to snake his way, make abrupt moves, got in turn 3 and then spun, I thought it was because of air. But he said he had a tire go down. I'll listen to the driver on this one. On camera, I didn't see a tire go down, but if the driver says the tire goes down, the tire is probably down. So Kyle Busch wrecks, takes out Eric Jones, takes out Matt Kenseth, takes out Dale Earnhardt Jr. Ty Dillon gets damaged. It was a pretty bad wreck for those guys. Gibbs' car is probably, Joe Gibbs probably threw up there, so not good for them. This would bring the red flag into display, so a couple of those guys could maybe prepare the 5-minute clock, but Junior, he's out of the race based on the 5-minute clock, couldn't get his car repaired on time, and Kyle Busch, obviously, his car was destroyed. He's out of the race. Kenseth is out of the race as well. Some of you asked me for my opinion on the 5-minute clock. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Fix your car in 5 minutes. If you reach minimum speed, then you have no clock after that. If your car can't reach minimum speed within 5 minutes, you probably have the right to be out of the race. You're not going to compete. But for a car that has minor damage or even like a little bit major damage but it's fixable, if they could reach minimum speed, they don't have the clock anymore. You can make as many repairs as you want after that if you reach minimum speed. So I think, to be honest, it's for safety and for competition purposes. I do like the rule. I understand where some people could be mad about it, but listen, Junior was not going to. He was going to be slow the entire way. His car was destroyed. They can't fix that car to get to minimum speed in 5 minutes. You shouldn't be in the race. So stage 3 starts, and this one, well, actually, let's not call it stage 3. The normal traditional race, 80 laps to go. No stages, no cautions prepared. Let's go to the end. This is where it got very, very hectic. So you had Hendrick cars up front. You had Chase Elliott, Kasey Kahne, Jimmy Johnson, and they were 3 wide behind them. And you could tell immediately from the restart of the race after stage 2 that there was going to be a wreck. You had Jamie McMurray, Trevor Bayne in 3 wide in the middle. The field was 3 wide all the way back. Kasey Kahne and Chase Elliott were 2 wide up front battling for the lead. And Jimmy was in this really weird spot. He was clear of the top 2 lanes, but not clear of the bottom lane. And he didn't know where to go. Jamie Mack was pushing him into turn 2, pushing him off of turn 2, down the backstretch, all the way down the backstretch. Jimmy was getting pushed. He said his rear tires were getting off the ground. And then when Jimmy lost the back end a little bit, he drifted into this really bad spot where Trevor Bayne was below him. Jamie Mack, being super aggressive, went above him, and Jimmy was completely done at that point. Had nowhere to go. Gets hit by Trevor Bayne in the left rear. It's not Trevor Bayne's fault. Just Jimmy got put in a terrible situation. It's 3 drivers trying to be aggressive. Really, Jimmy's just trying to hold on to his car. Jamie Mack and Trevor Bayne are trying to be aggressive, getting to a lane, and the big one happens. I had to write down there were so many wrecks. I had to write down the names here. The guys involved in that wreck: Jimmy Johnson, Clint Boyer, Denny Hamlin, Kennington, Buescher, Danica, Harvick, Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch did have a little bit of damage from that. Minor damage for Larson, Truex, Logano, and Trevor Bayne. That was the big one on lap, what was it? Lap 128 was the big one there. Note here, all 4 Stewart-Haas cars were in that wreck. All 4 of them, no matter whether it was minor damage or major damage, all 4 of them. Danica got a lot of damage. Harvick got a lot of damage. Both of those guys were basically out of the race. Harvick wasn't out of the race, but his car was never the same. Danica was out of the race. Kurt carried on, and, well, spoiler. And obviously Clint Boyer was out of the race as well. Lap 135, another wreck. So this involved Elliott Sadler. It involved Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney was trying to come down a pit road. Ryan Blaney waves his hand. Elliott Sadler acknowledges it. He knows it's happening, but whoever was behind Elliott Sadler didn't know it was happening. And Elliott Sadler got hit when Blaney was trying to come into pit road. Causes a wreck, involves Sadler, Stenhouse, and Trevor Bayne. And yeah, those 3 are basically out of the race after that. Lap 142, you can tell it's just a sequence of wrecks. Lap 142, basically second lap after the restart. Jamie Mack pushing Chase Elliott. I mean, pushing hard. And he tries to go 3 wide, and you know how aggressive these guys, in plate racing, Chase Elliott, Keselowski, Jamie McMurray, the young guns, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, these guys are very aggressive when it comes to plate racing and making moves. They're aggressive in blocking, they're aggressive in making moves. Jamie McMurray, this race, was too aggressive when he tried making moves and pushing. He needs to get better at that, but he was pushing Elliott, tried going 3 wide in a wrong spot. I don't even know if he was trying to go 3 wide or if he was on the left rear bumper of Elliott, and you don't want to be on the left rear bumper of a car when you're pushing them. It hooks Elliott. Elliott bounces off a car on the inside, saves it, carries on, but Jamie Mack gets turned straight up into the wall. And another wreck where I have to read all the names. You had Jamie Mack, Brad Keselowski, Suarez, Newman, Ty Dillon, Jeffrey Earnhardt. all involved in that wreck. Lap 148, another one.
Another one. Another one.
So Chase Elliott in the back of the pack, he's again being very aggressive, trying to go 3 wide. He goes 3 wide on the top of Joey Gase. Joey Gase does not see him, comes up on Chase Elliott. It looked like he had it saved for a little bit, but then Elliott clipped his left rear, and Joey Gase gets sent off, and involved Brendan Gaughan as well. Note, Cole Witt leading the Daytona 500. Cole Witt was leading the 500 after that Joey Gase incident. That was pretty cool, because, I mean, this race had a lot of guys who were not usually up front that were up front, and it was really awesome to see. Okay, let's go to the end of the race. I don't need notes for this one because I'm fresh off of watching it. So with around 30 laps to go, 25 to go, Chase Elliott does get into the lead, and before this, I mean, if you watch this race from like 45 to go and on, it is fantastic racing. You have the young guns of Ryan Blaney, Austin Dillon, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson. These guys are driving so hard, and they're putting some kamikaze stuff moves. I mean, like, Chase Elliott was so aggressive this race, it was downright scary. And you got your Joey Logano spotter, even he's like, man, this 24 needs to chill. And I'm telling you, man, Chase Elliott was insanely aggressive. But the difference between Chase Elliott and Jamie McMurray is that Jamie McMurray is trying to be aggressive, pushing people and stuff like that. He technically has right intentions. He's trying to help move the line. But when you're pushing someone like that, you have to understand when they get squirrely and when you gotta back off, and that's what caused a lot of the wrecks with Jamie McMurray. Chase Elliott, he doesn't like pushing people. Like he wants to make the move. That's how Chase Elliott is aggressive. When he has that run, he's gonna go either high or low. Same thing with Kyle Larson. He's gonna go high or low. Ryan Blaney did the same thing. These guys, you saw the future of NASCAR today, and Chase Elliott is already here. He's already in a fantastic ride. He will be a top competitor. Kyle Larson, I want him to be in a little bit better of a ride. Not be a Ganassi, but let's say be in one of the top 3 teams, like a Penske or top 4, Penske, Haas, Gibbs, and Hendrick. But he's in Ganassi, and he's doing better than what that ride actually is. He is just fantastic. Ryan Blaney as well in the Wood Brothers Ford, fantastic. And you saw the future of the sport. I really highly recommend, because I can't show you 45 laps of action. From 45 to going on, watch this race. Complete and utter just craziness, and it was absolutely fantastic. With 20 to go, they kind of go in this train formation. Chase Elliott takes them up to the top. You have Truex behind him, and you have a couple other guys behind. You got Kurt Busch right there in third. And you had guys like Eric Almirola, Paul Menard. Who else was there? McDowell. Waltrip finished 8th somehow. There were so many guys. Allmendinger was up there. There were a lot of guys who aren't usually up there that were up there. Ryan Blaney as well, Kyle Larson, all these guys. Joey Logano with damage was up there as well. So they run the train, and you know how the train works. When you go on the high line, when you go down, if no one comes down to help you, you get sacked. So basically everyone kind of loses their balls, and they have to run the high line. When you run the high line at Daytona or Talladega in a line, everyone is wide open. So it's really hard to get a run on the car in front of you. This is why they do it, and this is why the leader tries to take them to the high line, and this is why the top 5 are okay with being there. Because once you get to the end of the race, you can't go 45 laps all out, 3 wide, without wrecking. They're probably going to be a wreck. So drivers need to kind of like chill, and they get into that mode where they go to the train. When you can't get a run on one another, it creates this train. That's what happens. You want to go down low, you have to hop. That's what Logano was doing. You saw Larson do it at the end of the race as well. You have to drop down and hop in front of that car, get back in line. It's very hard to do, but if you do it right, it can be done. Now the fuel window. These guys all pitted with around 48 laps to go, so there was really just so close on fuel. And because you're riding that high line, you are always on the throttle. You are wide open. For 20 laps, they did not lift, and that was wasting fuel. So with 2 to go, Chase Elliott, he didn't run out of fuel, but while in the lead, his car kind of stumbles, runs out of fuel for a second, gets it back, but at that point, his race was done. He runs out of fuel in the last lap, finishes 14th. Then Truex takes the lead, and this was the most impressive move I've seen in a long time. Kyle Larson hops the leader in Martin Truex. That is something that is very, very hard to do, but he hopped the leader. Larson's in the lead, runs out of fuel in the last lap. So we continue on. Kurt Busch gets the lead because Truex ran out of fuel as well. Kurt Busch gets the lead. You had Ryan Blaney in second. He was trying to fight and make his way, so he lost ground of Kurt. and Ryan Blaney was trying to get a run on Kurt with Allmendinger behind him, but they couldn't get the run. So Kurt Busch, after many years of trying, wins his first Daytona 500. Guys, this race was utterly fantastic.
Teammate Ryan Newman to victory, and that's the old man, Tony Gibson.
It was amazing. There were so many parts of this race that were spectacular. Hopefully I went over everything that you guys wanted to go over. I mean, I tried like writing down all these notes and stuff. Like, let me show that. Like, there's a bunch of notes here and like what's going on, and it's definitely difficult to capture everything. So if I didn't talk about your driver, I'm sorry about that. But the main thing I want to take out of this race, and for you guys to take out of it, if you didn't see this race or if you haven't watched NASCAR because NASCAR's been shitty the last couple of years, this race format will change things for you. You have to be so aware of strategies that teams are going to use, and people are going to drive very hard. And man, listen, the race format didn't create the wrecks today. That was just drivers being incredibly aggressive, and that's because of the young guns. You're mixing young guns with veterans, and it's going to create really fantastic racing when these young guns are very, very talented. Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Larson, Eric Jones didn't really get to show anything this entire race, but he's going to be special too. Austin Dillon, all these guys are amazingly young, great talents. It's going to be really special to watch in the future. So the format, A+. The race, A+. It was fantastic. Kurt Busch won the race. I didn't watch any of the post-race reviews or post-race interviews because I had to jump right here to get this started. But hopefully Kurt enjoyed it. Feel bad for Chase Elliott. If you guys know me, I am a Team 24 guy because Jeff Gordon is always going to be my favorite driver. So I like Hendrick Motorsports. That's my team, all 4 cars. But Chase Elliott and that Team 24th, Gustafson, those guys, they hold my favorite driver points. So I wanted to see Chase Elliott win it. I think he had it. I really thought with how aggressive he was, it was going to be win or die trying. That's really what he was going to. He was going to wreck or he was going to win. It was going to be one of those two things. I didn't take into account that he could run out of fuel, and he did run out of fuel. And he'll get his first career win eventually, in the point system because he won the clash, or he won the duel, but that's not really his first career win. So he'll get his first career win hopefully within the first 10 races this year. He'll get it. But man, that was a hell of a race. And highly suggest you guys watch that when it gets on replay, probably near the future here. Guys, if you're new to the channel, go check it out, see what's on there, and please hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, you like me explaining everything, then hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. I'll see you guys later. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you had a good Daytona day if you tailgated with anyone or partied or whatever it was. It was a fantastic race, and hopefully NASCAR can carry that momentum in this new season with a new sponsor. And it's going to be some really good racing with a format that matters, where every race matters. You got to get those playoff points and try to win stages and win races. So hope you have a great day. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.